Hey, welcome to this special edition of the First Responder Wellness Podcast. My name is Conrad Weaver. Today I'm traveling, so my scenery behind me doesn't look the same as it always does. And I'm fortunate to have with me our good friend, Matty Fiorenza. Matty, welcome to the show. I want to talk today about, first of all, I want to ask you, how are you? You're living in Orange County. We're just south of the city of LA. How are you doing?
It's a good question. I'm doing great, actually. We weren't really affected by any of these fires in Orange County, which was a blessing. But sitting at home watching everything kind of go off and just hearing all my friends go out on these fires and, watching some of the devastation, I got a little FOMO, not being able to respond in the way I used to. But in the capacity that I work in now, I was called out by a friend who's a clinician, and for me, just being out here doing what we're doing is giving me purpose, and I'm being of service. So it's really kind of filling that part of my soul. So I'm doing good.
Have you been down to the fire ground, or are you kind of removed from that?
So initially, I was out at the Palisades fire. A friend of mine, his name is Jonathan Chia. He's a combat veteran who started what they call the Reality Center, which is it's biofeedback, neurofeedback kind of experiences to help veterans and first responders with PTSD. And he turned his business into a collection center for goods. And so having us come down, me and my partner Gabe Lira and a friend of mine who's a Santa Monica officer, with our credentials, we were able to collect a lot of the water, the supplies that were being dropped off, and take them to places in the Palisades that most people can't get to. So we spent the first day doing that, and so we were in the burn area. It's really sad. It's hard to put into words. Driving down PCH, and normally, the many times that I've been down there and seeing all those homes that were there just gone, it's hard to put into words, but it's very sad. And the National Guard's here, because people are looting, and, which is unbelievable to me, but they had to call in those guys. So those guys have it pretty well locked down. So a couple of checkpoints through there, and we went to base camp and dropped some stuff off. That day was just more of like delivering supplies, to the guys that were out on the front lines, and kind of driving around and looking at the devastation. And then when I got called out from a clinician friend of mine to report to the Eaton fire, here is more of a peer support role. I have Axel with me, and so we've been here a couple of days, and really, they've really come along.
And for those who don't know who Axel is your dog.
Yep.
Your wonderful dog.
Yep. Axel's my service dog, and he moonlights as a therapy dog. So a friend of mine, Nikki Stepanian, she is a clinician for LA County Fire. And the Eaton Fire is a unified command, which means normally a lot of these fires out here in California are run by CAL FIRE, but this is a unified command, so it's CAL FIRE and some federal agencies as well. But they make it a point now to have a peer support component, and so we have a bunch of peers from LA County, Forest Service, myself, and a couple of other agencies out here, Sacramento Fire, and a few of us have our canines with us. So we have there's a trailer set up at base camp where people can come and if they need to, and we have water and treats and stuff like that. But also another component is, as things come up, we will be kind of dispatched out to different parts of the burn to go talk to different people. So it's really cool to see how the mental health thing has kind of made its way, and it's become kind of a regular thing. This morning, I got to go into base camp and talk to some of the folks that were first on scene, and there's something about having Axel with me, having the dog, like, and being a peer and being trained in peer support to be able to, they'll just start petting the dog and then we can start, getting into some conversation. So we did a little debrief out there. So there's these little debriefs going on within camp as people come back. But Nikki just went out to talk to the urban search and rescue. They're the ones doing body recovery. And, so they're going out to do, some diffusings out there. So we're kind of getting dispatched, all over and just walking around camp and, going in the finance trailer and going in the check-in trailer and checking in. And it's just I can't get anywhere at base camp without stopping and talking to literally like 50 people. And that's super awesome. So, and, people just light up when they get to pet Axel. And like I said, we can transition into a conversation, ask them how they're doing. So we're here mostly just to take care of our first responders, and they're doing a really, really fantastic job.
So how are those frontline first responders doing?
I did the job, and I remember being out here and they're tired because those first initial units were out here 48 hours straight and like working hard. And so, they come across as just really beat up and tired. But like morale's good. It's a long few days for them. So, but I mean, morale's good, and they're really grateful that we're out here. It's, even some of the ones that are resistant at first, really kind of open up. But I think overall, it's a lot of work.
So you don't have a crystal ball, but looking in the future, what do you think is going to be the long-term effects of this with some of those first responders?
Yeah, that's when we're going to start to see some of the mental health issues really start bubbling up. Like I said, there's an overwhelming amount of support right now while this stuff is going on, or they're actually having to turn away a lot of people and a lot of stuff coming out here because we have everything we need at base camp. And I think the victims out there need more than we do in here. We're pretty well taken care of, but I was talking to a firefighter yesterday who said, in his experience, the hardest part is when they start letting some of these people back into the area, to watch them break down when they see everything gone, and then turn around and thank them. When internally, we don't like to feel helpless. We don't like to feel like we couldn't save this or that. But the truth is, like, these things are these natural disasters and these fires. It's just, there's only so much we can do, so that takes a toll on people, and then to see people show up that have just lost everything and the emotion that comes along with that. He said that's one of the hardest things to deal with. So, the initial diffusings and all these things that we're doing out here it's a really good step to helping them not to kind of carry some of this stuff home with them. But we are definitely doing a lot of education out here to them around what are the signs and symptoms, what are the things to look for, what are the things to stay away from in the next few days. And that, we're available. There's all kinds of resources for mental health that they have access to. But usually, like I said, once the dust settles and when everybody kind of is on to the next, tragedy as a community, we still start to feel the effects around that time. So we'll definitely be really busy, I'm sure, in the work that I do with Dr. Gina So, we are the First Responder Peace and Refuge Foundation is raising money now more for the mental health stuff afterwards. So we can offer a lot of these resources to the folks that don't have it at no cost to them. So yeah, it's going to take a toll. Yeah, down the road. This is one of the worst that a lot of people have ever seen. It's one of the worst I've ever seen. So
what do you guys as peer supporters, what do you guys need? What are things that you guys could use, or what are some of the resources that you need?
So we are, we're the ones that kind of teach this self-care thing to people. And so we are, as a group, are really good at checking on each other and making sure that, that we're getting the breaks. I mean, Axel, he gets tired, after so many hours of, letting people pet him. And, right now he's in the back, and this is a good time to give him a break. So we're really good about taking our breaks. We're good about supporting each other. And, a lot of these clinicians are friends of ours. We all work together. So if something comes up, we have a clinician right there that we can, unpack something with. So, our needs are all met out here. I think we're doing a good job of taking care of each other. So there's not much we need, but we teach this stuff. So we know our limits. We know about burnout and compassion fatigue, and we kind of look out for each other. So
yeah.
Yep.
Well, I want to say, just thank you for being willing to do that and to take yourself out there, take Axel out there to take care of these folks. I want to, in a month or so, have you back on the program to kind of give another update as to what the results were of all that, and what the fallout, so to speak, is of all this, going forward. So I just want to encourage you, stay strong, stay healthy, keep yourself, in a good place, and I'm proud of you, man. I'm proud of you, what you're doing, and all the work that you're accomplishing.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thanks, Conrad. That means a lot, buddy. And we will check back in, and we'll update you down the road for sure.
All right. Well, I've had Matty Fiorenza on the line with me today to give an update from Southern California. Thanks, Matty, for joining us today on the First Responder Wellness Podcast, this special edition coming to you from around the world. Where are we at? I'm in Colorado. You're in California. So thanks for joining me today.